And to discuss the latest developments in the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte, we are joined by ACT Teachers Party List Representative Antonio Tinio. Good morning, Kong.
Hi, good morning, Dan. Good morning to our viewers.
Rep, let's kick off with your reaction to the first complaint being set aside because it allegedly violates the one-year bar rule. What's your reaction to this?
Well, of course, we were dismayed with that ruling. Siyempre, hindi natin gusto na ma-set aside yung first impeachment complaint. At in particular, it's because of the reason why it was set aside, namely that there was a concern that another issue would be raised before the Supreme Court, having to do with the one-year bar. No? Ang concern natin ay kung ganyan na magiging attitude ng Committee on Justice or stand ng Committee on Justice ay, well, the impeachment as a whole cannot really prosper or move forward. No? Kasi we have seen, and the lesson of the previous Congress is that for as long as the House or Congress does not take ownership of its own rules on impeachment, and there's a reason why the Constitution specifically tasks the impeachment solely to the House. So if the House doesn't take control of its own rules, then at any point and at any time, impeachment can always be subverted by running to the Supreme Court and questioning the rules. That's what happened last time. This is the reason why the impeachment trial at the Senate was declared void and did not proceed. And so the danger is this will happen again. So yun yung pinaka-concern natin.
But nevertheless, two of the other filed cases are moving forward, nevertheless, with at least to the level of being evaluated for substance. So is this not enough for you since it's anyway going to go to the same impeachment trial, if it does?
Yes, since we support the impeachment proceedings as a whole, we want the impeachment to succeed. We want the vice president held accountable. So that is positive. However, I foresee that it's still possible for example, the vice president once again to run to the Supreme Court and raise yet another procedural issue just as she did in the previous Congress. So hindi pa sa-solve yung problema na yun.
So what do you expect is going to happen at this stage of the sufficient in substance? Papasa ba to?
Yes, I think it's clear that the impeachment has the support of the majority, so therefore the numbers will be there to find it sufficient in substance, and it will proceed to the next stage of the impeachment proceeding.
Can you tell us once again your thoughts on why you believe that the majority or of the House will be supporting this, given that, of course, VP Sara has declared her intention to run for president in 2028? Do you feel that this would sway the votes against the impeachment?
Well, the simple reason is that President Marcos is still the president and he still controls the majority in the House of Representatives. And so Malacanang still has the numbers, to mobilize for this vote. We're looking at impeachment here as a purely political process or numbers game. So at this point, even though the vice president declared that she will run for president in 2028. At this point, the majority is still for the incumbent. So that's why I believe that the numbers will be there at the committee level as well as at the plenary level when it comes to that.
And can you say that the same thing happened when the charges, or at least the bid for impeachment of the president, BBM, was dismissed or declared
Hmm.
not substantive? Is that because of the support still for the admin at this stage, or is it really
Yes,
just simply it wasn't sufficient in form?
uh, it was the impeachment against the President Marcos, which we also endorsed, was found sufficient in form but not in substance.
In substance,
No.
rather, yes.
So, uh, yes, essentially the same dynamic happened. In that case, the majority uh, moved very clearly moved to block the impeachment, and so prematurely uh, declared the complaint that we endorsed to be insufficient in substance. Even though so the committee was saying that there was no evidence to support the allegations, even though at that stage wala pang presentation of evidence. So that was not even uh, yet the point of the exercise. No, it was simply determination of whether or not um, the complaint alleged sufficient facts to support impeachment.
Were you disappointed with that, or
Oh,
are you
of course.
accepting that the votes of the House would hold?
Uh, uh, of course, we were disappointed as well, and um, for the simple reason that in that case, that impeachment of the president was about the flood control corruption,
Mm.
and I think the majority of Filipinos in general are disappointed with how the so-called anti-corruption campaign uh, has has turned out. No? Uh, the president promised that there would be the big fish uh, jailed by December, and it's now March, and where are the big fish? Wala pa rin. No? Rather, what we're seeing is that apparently accountability is negotiable. Uh, you see that in the Blue Ribbon Committee report, where they can't even come out with a report because they can't agree on the names that will be included, no, recommended to face charges, the senators who will face charges. So, um, and the reason for this, the reason why walang matukoy na big fish is because, as we allege in our complaint, the biggest fish is in Malacanang. President himself and his closest allies are the ones who are responsible and should be held accountable for the flood control corruption.
But is impeachment the only recourse of action here? That is, should be the last recourse. No, are there no other intermediate steps that you can push for more accountability rather than impeachment, which some have
Mhm.
also called, destabilizing for the
Mhm.
government, for the economy at this point?
Well, if you're talking about holding the president accountable, then that's the only way to hold the president accountable. Now, as to this destabilization, well, what's destabilizing is not pushing for impeachment, pushing to hold the president accountable, but the acts of plunder that have that reached unprecedented levels during this administration. That's a truly destabilizing act here. Um, and as to what else can be done, well, yes, there are other things that can be done. For example, the president's subordinates may be investigated for for example the palace officials that he himself fired, removed from his cabinet, uh, notably the executive secretary Bersamin, as well as the undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. Turns out he plays a key role in directly linking the president to the flood control corruption. So those two, they do not have immunity, and so they can be investigated. But take note that they have never been investigated, not by the ICI, nor the Blue Ribbon Committee, nor the Ombudsman. No, so if we want true accountability, then we can start with these people.
Rep, have you or anyone really spoken to VP Sara about these proceedings and what is going on? Is she participating? Is she going to be present at all? If they call
Mhm.
her, will she be responding to anything? She's so far she has not really said anything, no?
Yeah, no, we have not spoken to the vice president, and I can only judge from um, uh, previous experience. No, meaning to say, she has never shown herself to be cooperative with any of the processes of the House. No, whether it be the regular or the annual budget deliberations. Remember, in the last budget deliberations, she even made demands or ultimatums as conditions for her attendance at the budget deliberations on her office's budget, the office of the vice president. So I don't think she will cooperate, or that she will make a personal appearance in the hearings of the Committee on Justice should this proceed. So no, but regardless, the impeachment proceedings will continue, and I am fairly certain that this will once again reach the Senate for trial.
All right, thank you so much for those updates. We are watching them closely. ACT Teachers Party List Representative Antonio Tinio. Thank you, Rep.
Thank you, Danny. Good morning.